Hey, what's up, Spooky fam? You all seem to really enjoy the ghost stories I told you from Reddit last week, and I think we're gonna do another video today because if you remember in that video, I did tell a story about little ghosts, little children ghosts haunting the ICU, and then shortly after, patients passing away and that being an occurrence that happens. I actually really enjoyed that story, so I went looking for more ghost stories revolving around hospitals, funeral homes, nursing homes, things like that. So if you enjoy this kind of video, let me know because I have a lot of fun looking up haunted stories, spooky stories, and I have a lot of fun thinking about if it's real or not, and I'm sure you all do too. So let me know down below. Don't forget to check out our links down below if you'd like to see our store and purchase any spooky artwork from me for the month of October. I do have a discount code, Halloween20, if you would like to save 20% on your order. So I guess this video is sponsored by us, Team Nefarious. I will leave the whole Reddit thread linked down below as well. This is titled Serious, Nurses and Doctors of Reddit, what's your weirdest / scariest paranormal stories that took place during work? And this thread is from 4 years ago, so this is all like around pre-pandemic times. This first Reddit user shares, there is probably some medical explanation for this, but still the weirdest thing I've seen as a nurse so far. We had a very robust, confused old lady on our floor. Her room was in front of the nurse's station so we could keep an eye on her, and had one of our nurses' aide as a sitter too. She was always fighting, kicking, trying to get out of bed, very restless and agitated, as some patients I've had can get before death. One day we were called into her room as her heart rate was going down as she lay with her eyes open. It was 30, 20, then flatlined. We checked her for a pulse and did not find any. She was a DNR, so we did not attempt resuscitation. We close her eyes, prepare to get the body bag, and call the family. The sitter remains in there to start getting the body ready. Less than 10 minutes later, she calls us back in. The old lady is at it again, hitting, kicking, trying to get out of the bed. She came back to life. Honestly, we found this situation hilarious, and I have never seen any patient come back like that on their own. I think she made it out of the hospital too. And honestly, the first time I read this story, I immediately thought Olivia from The Sopranos just clinging on to life. If you know, you know. This next user shares, I was working at night and one of the patients died while I was in the room. We tried everything to revive this person, but it didn't work. So after doing the papers and everything, I went to another place in the hospital, and I swear to God, this patient who I saw dead touched my right arm. I think that I have never cried that much in my life. Another user commented, maybe it was their way of saying thanks for trying, and I honestly think that is so sad. I worked in a pediatric hospital and have always heard the 4th floor right outside of our oncology unit was haunted. I worked 3/12s normally, but would pick up overtime and picked up a night shift. I was working in the NICU, which happened to also be on the 4th floor, but on the opposite side. The oncology unit had a staircase that was a shortcut down to the cafeteria that was on the 2nd floor. At about 3 a.m., I was ready to take a short break and wanted a cup of coffee from the cafeteria, so I decided to take that staircase. I walked through the automatic double doors and saw a kid skipping down the hall. I called out to him and was afraid that a little kid had snuck out of a patient room. As soon as I called out to him, he turned in the blink of an eye and totally vanished. A lot of other nurses and doctors had seen the same little kid skipping in that same hallway. Of course, I chalked it up to just exhaustion, but didn't really think about it much after that. but you are damn sure I did not use that hallway ever again. And like I said in my last Reddit video, I am a cancer survivor. I've spent so much, like I've a lot of time in hospitals. I've heard many a code, but I've never seen any activity like that. And coincidentally, when I got radiation, or when I was having radiation, I was staying in the same room that my grandpa died in. This next user shared, when I worked at the funeral home, I was told a story about an elderly lady that had died. The husband said he wanted her to be buried with her ring as she never took it off. My coworker was in the morgue and was washing the body. She removed the ring to mark it down on paperwork, and as soon as she did, a styrofoam head they used for wigs went flying across the room. She just said out loud, all right, I'll put your ring back on." And there were no more disturbances. And I think we have a ghost at work. We had a lady who passed away, one of our coworkers. Her name was Denise. Her heart was too big for her body, and we kind of think that she's just kind of hanging around our store because she just liked working there. And whenever something falls over or anything happens, we just kind of go, "Okay, Denise, we get it. You didn't like that," or "Thank you for helping out, Denise," or "Oh God, I scared myself." The following user shares, "One of the rooms we have is obviously having something of a haunting. A man in a gown gestured one of the techs to come in. She went in and he was gone. 1 week earlier, a female patient was asking to get a different room because a man wouldn't leave her room. We thought it was just some sort of delirium, but multiple others have seen him too." And I don't know why, but when I'm reading that, I'm picturing the like jangly man or whatever his name was. I know that's not his name, but from Gerald's game, what was his name? The Moonlight Man, I'm pretty sure his name was. That's what I'm picturing when I'm hearing all these stories of like figures in rooms and dark figures in rooms. This story I wanted to particularly share because it starts off, "This is probably going to get buried. When I was a nursing student up on the ICU floor, I was hanging antibiotics in my patient's room when I heard an audible, 'Hey.' I turn around and there was no one else in the room. Mind you, my patient was intubated and sedated, so there was no possible way it was them. It was a woman's voice as well, so I thought it was my preceptor. I go back out to the nurse's station and ask my preceptor if it was her in the room trying to catch my attention. She told me no, and I've never seen someone's eyes get so big. Apparently the room I was in had the most paranormal sightings and activity out of all the rooms on the unit. Sightings as in shadows sitting in the corners of the room, voices being heard, and curtains being flung violently across railings. No one's ever told me about this room prior to my preceptorship, so it just added to everyone's belief that it was haunted as fuck. And that just adds more to me thinking that hospitals are scary and I don't want to be a part of that. I don't like it. I don't want to know what is. Even though I may be skeptical, I feel like the hospitals are a sketchy place to be. So on that note, I will leave you there. I thought those were great ones. I actually we just watched Tom DeLonge's new movie, Monsters of California, last night, which kind of, as a skeptic, that kind of had things in there that I was like, oh my God, Bigfoot. But I kind of want to look into sightings for our next like stories video. I really want to keep this going. So if you want me to look into like sightings of aliens or different things like that, let me know, because I'm having really fun, a good time looking into people's stories and stuff like that. So let me know your thoughts and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to check out our store down below. Use code Halloween20 for 20% off your order, and I will see you soon. Sayonara, Spooky fans.